And this morning, Goldman Sachs again raised the odds of a U.S. recession now to 45%. It's the second time it's raised its forecast in the last week. And Joe Mika, we've heard from President Trump again this morning. He's taken it to social a couple of times, including just a moment ago. I'm going to read it. It's on the screen. The United States has a chance to do something that it should have been done decades ago. Don't be weak. Don't be stupid. Don't be a panikin, which appears to be a term he coined. He puts in parentheses, a new party based on weak and stupid people. Be strong, courageous, and patient, and greatness will be the result. So, Joe Mika, this is a clear reaction to what we've heard in the last few days. Even some Republicans, let's be clear, mild, tentative criticism, but we heard from Senator Ted Cruz earlier. There have been others who have spoken out questioning the wisdom of these tariffs, at least as a long-term solution. And this appears to be President Trump's efforts to try to quell any rebellion before it really erupts within the GOP.
Right. You know, it's interesting. We heard from Ron Johnson, who's, of course, hearing from farmers. We've heard for a week now a lot of farmers may be one bad crop away from bankruptcy. They can't afford this right now. We heard from Ted Cruz. Of course, oil continues to spiral downward towards 60. You get below that, that is going to be a recession for oil producers. And this guidance from the White House this morning to several news sources, their message, the phone lines are open and the nations are free to make their pitch on how they will correct for decades of taking advantage of the American consumer. But for businesses looking for certainty, the message is clear. Don't wait. Come build in America. That was to Axios and other news outlets. So if you look at White House guidance this morning, even as the markets continue to go downward for going to be a third rough day, their guidance is, and the president's there, head down. We're going to keep moving forward, and our phone lines are open if you want to do a deal.
Let's bring in NBC News senior business analyst and host of the 11th Hour, Stephanie Ruhle. NBC News national affairs analyst and a partner and chief political columnist at Puck, John Heilman, and co-anchor of CNBC's Squawk Box and a New York Times columnist, Andrew Ross Sorkin. Andrew, I'll start with you as we're looking at these numbers and what will happen today. What are your biggest concerns? What are you watching? And for the Americans that are really hurting right now, I'm just wondering if being called names and being dubbed panikins is really the right way to go. I'm not sure.
Look, I spent the weekend just on the phone with so many business leaders, investors, and others, and I don't think to a man there's somebody who looks at this and doesn't say this is a man-made disaster. It could, of course, be ended with a tweet, but that does not seem likely. And so then the question becomes, what's the off-ramp? Part of the discussion is what you just, or debate is what you just described, which is the White House trying to bring back jobs to America? Are they trying to raise revenue from tariffs as a form of taxes? Are they trying to get to zero or even less than zero for some kind of free trade program? All of those issues are at odds with each other. Now, I just spoke to Peter Navarro literally in the last 5-10 minutes now, and he effectively is trying to get jobs to come back to America. Well, if that's the case, these tariffs are staying, and they will likely be here for quite a long time, irrespective of who calls up on the phone and says that they want to change the tariff program. So it's very hard to look at this situation, both in terms of what the marketplace is doing right now, in terms of stocks coming down, with that turning around in any meaningful way. And even if tariffs were to come off or there were some deals being made, it is possible that the stock market does a little bit better than where it is today. But it is possible also that the toothpaste is out of the tube, folks, at this point in the ball game, and that no matter what, the economics of companies and countries doing business with the U.S. has fundamentally changed, at least for the foreseeable future.
You know, it's fascinating. You look at